You ain't clean.
You do yard work?
No, I'm not cut out for it.
Not what Zig said.
My name is Dan Everly, and I play No Name. No Name is the central character of The Local. When we meet him, he is barely clinging to his means. He is a down-on-his-luck drug mule, new in town, nearly homeless. He's living in a boiler room. He's a couple of months behind on his rent, and he's sort of done this to himself as a kind of penance that he's doing for a lifetime of rottenness.
Now listen, I still need that money tomorrow. Right? You got 1 day to make this right. No more extensions. 1 day.
My name is David Nybert, and I played Frank.
I am Paul James Vasquez, and I played Joe.
Frank is a wealthy man whose daughter has gone missing.
Joe is an ex-cop from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, whose best friend, Frank, is in New York trying to find his daughter.
They've managed to track her down to a place in Queens, the apartment of a drug dealer named Big Black.
They're parked outside of Big Black's apartment, waiting for Claire to come out. She never comes out of the apartment.
They have no idea how they're going to get her back.
They see No Name coming in and out.
A street-level drug runner.
They make an offer to No Name to help them.
To get the girl out of the apartment and for $5,000.
What? I saw you in that apartment with those bayonets. You familiar with their operation?
You want $5,000?
Yes.
$5,000? Hey, quiet.
Fuck this. Let's go back to Pennsylvania.
I'm Maya Ferrara, and I played Claire in The Local. She is an addict. Young girl living in a really bad place. The word I kept coming back to for her was damaged. Damaged goods, but still goods. There's still good in her.
Where's that? England?
Actually, it's Brooklyn.
No way.
My name is Paul James Bowen. In the film, I play Big Black. He's sort of the leader of a cadre of vets who have gone from their world of war and come back into the society without really having a place for them. And so they move into an industry that involves a tight structure of order and rules and regulations that have to be enforced violently.
He said, this is like a farm. Big Black is Farmer John, and you are nothing but a fucking moo cow. And when those titties dry up, nothing left to do but make steak.
No Name has a kind of rigid sense of protocol that no one seems to share.
Let's see what you got.
Where's the fucking hands, man?
You can leave that here with us.
Look, man, I ain't leaving it here with you. I'm leaving it here with Sig.
And because he is what he is, he's just a mule, he's just an errand boy, nobody cares what his opinion is.
If I don't see him, you're gonna be on the wrong side of this. You'll be on the wrong side of Jerry, you'll be on the wrong side of Big Black.
The difference between No Name and an average errand boy, mule, whatever, is that No Name is extremely formidable and has the ability to enforce the rules.
This was a challenging movie to shoot, largely because of all the fight scenes. Yeah. Luckily, Dan found George Shorthoff. George played Sig in the film, and George was an amazing stunt fighter himself in some major pictures, and also a great fight choreographer.
George Shorthoff really directed those scenes.
I always enjoy being on the set with these guys.
Right here, my man.
What happened to misdemeanor for him?
Oh, that shit ain't mine. That's my girl's.
Having done movies with other people, it's a very different experience. I mean, it's a lot looser.
My folks are coming down from fucking Buffalo. Gonna put my ass in rehab. But fuck it, I don't care. I'll be back in a couple of weeks.
But it does give you more creative freedom when you have people who are willing to listen to maybe what your input may be.
And for me, I don't know, I felt like that was me. That was my transition. Like the baby soul fucking jumped into mine. I had a second chance, you know?
It does feel like a collaboration, you know, and there isn't that pretension.
It's a collaborative effort from day one.
I think the film is beautifully shot. First of all, it brings out the way that the mood of the film is carried in the way that it's filmed.
In general, the movie I knew needed to be shot with a very active camera, with a very involved camera, to help portray a sense of urgency.
You fire that thing in here, you blow us all. Fuck. Take him into Bobby's room and kill him there.
I think on the performance level, the thing that sets the local apart from a typical genre sort of action crime film is the level of vulnerability that all of the performances feature. Everyone in this movie is really remarkably vulnerable. Even the so-called bad people are very really putting it out there, and that is unusual. You don't really see that.
Without getting into my age, rest assured, I wasn't always married. I wasn't always a doctor. There's always a before and an after. People forget. There's always an after.
One of the experiments of the movie was really on the script level to see what we could say without any expository information.
Listen to me, right? I don't care. Between you and me, I don't give a shit how you get it done. Drag her down the stairs by the fucking hair, I don't care. Just do it. Look, you get this done, and Frank will take care of you.
I need money today.
Then get her out today.
We had a very simple storyline with a whole lot of peripheral information that needed to be there, but in the subtext. On the character level, it was an opportunity to get really talented actors who would fill in those gaps and really create their own story.
For me, I always thought that she came from a privileged background, a privileged life. You see her father in the film, and you also get to see her in her past through photographs.
I picture what probably happened is that she did something to irritate him. Either she came home drunk one night, or he caught her with a boy, and he kicked her out of the house, expecting her to come back and pound on his door and insist on being let back in. Only she doesn't. She disappears, and he realizes it's his responsibility to go and find her.
My little story that I made for myself, she leaves with the guy, with a boyfriend, and he gets her into drugs, and he is working for Big Black, and that's how she gets with him.
No Name refers to this whore, and when Frank realizes that the whore he's referring to is his daughter, it has a huge impact on him.
Big Black and some strung-out chick. She's probably a whore. Whore? It's a white girl, 20s.
Is this her? What do they call her? What do they call her?
Clear.
He realizes that he's essentially responsible for the situation that she's in, and he's driven her into a life that he's going to have a hard time making up for this.
Well, the connection between Claire and No Name, from my point of view, from Claire's, it starts with that first scene. She's high. You know, she doesn't really know what's going on, and he comes in, sits down. Somehow she notices him. You know, she's zoned out watching the TV. And he doesn't want anything from her, and she doesn't want anything from him. and that's kind of a first.
You cut?
No, no thanks. No thanks.
So it's in that moment that they kind of remember that they're people, you know? They're still human.
No Name is trying to change his life. He's changing his life concept, really. And he doesn't have a clue how to do it because he hasn't really been living his life as a human being to this point. So he's essentially wiped the slate clean by putting himself in this kind of indentured servant position to these these people of the underworld.
Ever talk back again, you're going under the bridge.
I saw Big Black as an intensely lonely person. And he is trying for all of his might to sort of build a family, build a group around him that's outside of the strict military order. He sees No Name as another possible family member. So when No Name finally turns on him, it's a huge betrayal, and that's why his reaction is so strong.
Where did you get this? What the fuck is this?
They ultimately know him, and they know the version of him that he does not want to be.
You serve?
He didn't fucking serve. Look at him, fucking commoner.
I didn't serve. How long you been with Jerry?
Not long.
You cut?
I'm clean.
You ain't clean.
I think anyone who's ever decided to, really change the way that they work in life is going to relate to this character.
You know, like, change your lot in life is a big recurring theme in the film. I think that somewhere in her, she kind of forgives herself and wants to redeem herself and her life and change it.
And it's repeated throughout the film that these people are trying to find their own definition of brightness in that sort of dark atmosphere.
I think she stops feeling as though she deserves this life, and maybe she can have a normal life again. And if it's with No Name, then she's all for it because she sees herself in him, and vice versa. She feels safe with him. But inevitably, I mean, they can't be together. It's just not how the story goes.